Understand the mindset of the Muslims, understand what was happening, understand how Karbala is being formed, try to understand what is happening right now. The Prophet is sick, he's in his bed. The companions come to the Prophet. What do they say? Ya Rasulullah, you're sick, you're ill. Is there anything that you need? Can we help and assist you in any way? The Prophet says, yes. Bring for me a pen and a paper. Why, Ya Rasulullah? So that I can write for you something that as long as you hold on to that statement, I guarantee you, you will never go astray. Now, as a Muslim, I ask you, if your Prophet is telling you, I want to give you a statement, go get me a pen and a paper. It's a statement that will never let you go astray. Would you not run and get that statement from that Prophet? Would you not want to know what it was? You see, certain people knew what the statement was. Certain people understood what the Prophet is about to say. A few weeks before this incident, Ghadir happened. Did the Prophet not say in front of 100,000 people, if I am your Mawla, Ali is your Mawla after me, obey him. It was already said, they knew what it was, but they wanted to stop the Prophet. So one individual says, what? We don't need this statement from the Prophet. Now the Shias have two responses to this statement. Okay? The first response we have is the Quran itself states, وَمَا يَنْتَقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيًا يُوحَىٰ. Muhammad does not speak out of his own desire. Whatever he says, it is revelation. If the Prophet is telling you, get me a glass of water, that's Allah saying it. If the Prophet is telling you, do this, that's Allah saying this. So if the Prophet is telling you, get me a pen and a paper so that I can give you a statement, that's not the Prophet saying it. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying it. So for you to turn around and say, Hasbuna kitab Allah, the book of Allah is enough, we don't need your statement. In essence, what you're doing is you're saying to the Prophet, oh Allah, you are wrong, we don't need your statement. First point. So what did they do? They denied the Prophet the pen and paper. So when they denied the Prophet the pen and paper, as bad as that was, they didn't stop there. They took it one step further. What did they say? The man who said to the Prophet, Hasbuna kitab Allah, the book of Allah is enough, we don't need this anymore. He then goes one step further. Now the billah, he says what? He says the Prophet is delirious. Beshumar indeed. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's ill. Just leave him. Hasbuna kitab Allah. We have the book of Allah. Our response to that as well is what? Is that if you're saying the Prophet on his deathbed was delirious and he didn't know what he was saying when the first Caliph was on his deathbed, and the Muslims came to him and said, "Oh Khalifa of the Prophet, who is your successor?" He fell unconscious. Then he woke up. Who is your successor? He fell unconscious. He woke up. Who is your successor? Then he named a certain individual. Well, he wasn't delirious. The man's in and out of consciousness. But you're taking his words as gold. Yet you're saying that the Messenger of Allah didn't know what he said. Nonetheless, the Prophet became angry at his companions. What did he say? He said, Kumu anni. Leave me. Get out. Never in the history has the Prophet ever used such strong words. He was Rahmatul lil Alameen. First time he said, get out of my house. I'm not happy with you. So the companions leave. This was the first incident that the Muslims were trying to show that even though the Prophet hasn't left yet, we can still defy him. We can say no to him. We can get away with it. And now it was becoming the norm to all the Muslims. The messenger is alive and we're saying no. And everybody is fine with it.